Hello, I am glad you are here today. I want to talk with you about an important question. What makes an election truly democratic? To help you understand this, I am going to share a real example with you. The East African nations of Tanzania, by looking at Tanzania's recent experiences. Together, you and I can learn universal lessons about democracy, elections, and why these institutions matter for any country. I am not here to take sides. I want to help you understand the principles that help societies function fairly. So, let me begin by asking you a fundamental question. What do you think democracy is really about? Now, let me explain something to you. Democracy comes from two Greek words, demos, meaning people, and kratos, meaning power. It literally means power of the people. But I want you to understand that democracy is more than just voting. It is a system built on several key pillars. Let me share these with you. First, free and fair elections, where you as a citizen can genuinely choose your leaders. Second, freedom of speech and press, so that you can share ideas and hold leaders accountable. Third, rule of law, where everyone, including leaders, follows the same rule. Fourth, protection of minority rights, ensuring that majority rule does not become majority tyranny. And fifth, peaceful transfer of power, where losing candidates accept results and winners respect the process. When these pillars are strong, democracy thrives. When they are weakened, problems emerge. Now, let me show you how this principle apply in the real world. I want to take you to Tanzania, give you some background. Tanzania, like any African nation, gained independence in 1961, formed when Tanganyika and Zanzibar united in 1964. The country's first leader, Julius Nyerere, introduced a one-party system, believing it would unite the diverse nation. For decades, the Chama cha Mapinduzi, or CCM party, was the only legal political party. In 1992, Tanzania introduced a multi-party democracy, allowing opposition parties to form and compete. This was a significant step, giving citizens more choices. However, I need you to understand something. Having multi-parties on papers does not automatically create true competition. The CCM has won every election since multi-party democracy began, often with very large margins. This raises an important question I want you to think about. When one party dominates for many years, how do we know if elections are truly competitive? I want to share with you what election experts around the world use as a specific criteria to evaluate whether elections are genuine. Let me walk you through these markers. Equal opportunity to campaign. All candidates should have reasonable access to media, ability to hold rallies, and freedom to share their message. Voter registration. You as a citizen should be able to register easily without discrimination or unnecessary barriers. Secret ballot. You must be able to vote privately without fear of intimidation or retaliation. Independent Election Commission, the body counting votes should be neutral, not controlled by the ruling party. Transparent counting process. Result should be counted openly with observers present and announced publicly at each polling station. Freedom for observers. Both domestic and international observers should be allowed to monitor the process. Media access. Journalists should be free to report without censorship or intimidation. Level playing field. Opposition candidate should not face arbitrary arrest, office raids, or disqualification without legitimate cause. When many of these elements are missing or compromised, experts question whether an election truly reflects the people's will. Now, let me show you what happened in Tanzania's October 2025 elections. I want you to see how several of these markers raise concern among observers. Let me walk you through what happened as a learning opportunity. In October 2025, Tanzania held national elections. President Samia Suluhu Hassan, who had taken office in 2021, was seeking her first full term. The official result showed the CCM party won with over 97% of the vote. However, I need to tell you about several concerning factors that emerge. Major opposition candidates, including well-known figures, were either disqualified from running or faced legal challenges that prevented their participation. International election observers reported limited access to monitor the process. Internet disruption occurred, making it difficult for citizens to share information. After the results were announced, large protests erupted in major cities, with demonstrators questioning election legitimacy. The government responded with curfews, internet disruption, and police action. I have to tell you something sad. At least 10 people lost their lives in the demonstration at the time of this recording, with opposition groups claiming higher numbers. The United Nations, the African Union, and several governments expressed concern about the situation. I want you to understand, this is not just about judging Tanzania specifically. Many countries face similar challenges. The question I want you to ask is, what can we learn from this? Again, allow me to explain something important to you. You see, when people feel their votes do not count or that the process is not fair, they lose trust in institutions. This creates a dangerous circle, and I want you to see how. Without trust, citizens may take to the streets, leading to potential violence. Governments may respond with force, creating more distrust. International relationships suffer as other countries questions the government's legitimacy. Economic development slows because instability discourages investment. This is why I want you to understand the process matters, not just the outcome. Even if a leader would have won fairly, if the process appears rigged, the result lacks legitimacy. Strong democratic institutions, transparent processes, and respect for opposition voices. I need you to know these are not just nice to have, they are essential for long-term stability, economic growth, and social peace. Countries with strong democratic institutions tend to have better outcomes in education, healthcare, and economic opportunity. Not because democracy is magical, but because accountability and transparency help reduce corruption and ensure resources reach citizens. Let me leave you with this thought. Tanzania's current situation reminds us of an important truth. Democracy requires modern elections. It requires strong institutions, respect for opposition voices, and commitment to fair processes. These principles matters for Tanzania, for Africa, and for the entire world. I want you, as a global citizen, to understand this concept, not to point figures, but to recognize what helps societies thrive. Thank you for watching this educational explanation with me about democracy, elections, and why this institution matters. I encourage you to keep learning, to keep questioning, and keep thinking critically about the world around you.